Hello, clever people, and welcome to my review for Hustlers. So Hustlers is a movie starring Jennifer Lopez and Constance Wu and a ton of other female actresses, and it follows the true story of a group of women who were strippers, but after the 2008 economic decline, they decided that they needed some sort of way to make money. The strip clubs weren't making as much. All of them had to quit. So they decide to start running a hustle. Well, they were drug men, take their money, and continue going on doing that for as long as they possibly can. So Hustlers, based off of the trailers, was not a movie I was looking forward to. I didn't think the trailers looked all that good. I didn't care necessarily because it's not like the trailers were bad or repulsive or anything. They just weren't anything I was looking forward to. But out of TIFF, this movie was getting really, really good reviews. People were saying possible Oscar nomination for Jennifer Lopez in it, which was really, really shocking. And I was just looking forward to this movie because I thought it was going to be fun. But they really should have advertised this movie differently, and I'm sure they're happy with the way they advertised it. It made $30 million this last weekend, and it's going to be a huge financial success, but this movie is a lot darker than the trailers make it out to be. Yeah, there's some fun in it, and there's some levity, and there's some humor, but it's a pretty dark movie, and it deals with some very heavy themes. The difference between this and your average stripper movie is that the stripping part, it's integral to the movie. Of course, it's a big part of what the movie is. It's on the poster, it's in the trailers. But this movie digs a lot deeper into who these women are. And honestly, even though the movie does have its problems, the characters keep it going because they are so well developed. Each one has their own separate personality. You understand their backstories. You understand their motivations for why they are running this hustle. And all of the actors do such a good job in this movie. Jennifer Lopez is getting all the talk right now, and honestly, she should. She is incredible in this movie, and she won't get nominated for an Oscar, but she does a fantastic job. But I think the performance that is going underlooked because everyone is talking about her is Constance Wu in this movie. She has such an interesting character arc, and it's so fascinating to watch where she goes with this movie. Even when the dialogue isn't 100%, and even when the movie can get quite repetitive, she holds this movie up. The leading actress category at the Oscars this year is super, super stacked, so I know she won't get nominated. She's not even getting any word of getting nominated. I think, personally though, she should, because she does a great job at holding this movie up. Now, I do have quite a few problems with this movie, mostly in how repetitive it is. I mean, there's a certain part in this movie where they're meeting men at the exact same place all the time, and the same thing is happening to the men. And there's just certain parts of the movie. It seems like there's like 2 or 3 different parts of the movie where it gets a really good idea, it rides on that really good idea, and then it goes for about another 20 minutes with it being super repetitive. Then it gets another good idea, rides with that idea, then sort of just becomes repetitive. It happens about 3 times in this movie, and that was really distracting because when a movie is feeling repetitive, you want nothing else other than to check your watch or for the movie to move on. And I do think that this movie could have been trimmed. It's an hour and 50 minutes, and you easily could have trimmed 20 minutes off of this movie to make it a slim an hour and 30, and that would have helped with a lot of unnecessary and repetitive scenes. It also would have helped with the pace of this movie because even though it is only an hour and 50 minutes, it feels about 2.5 hours. It feels like a long, epic movie, despite the length not being all that long. But in the end, the messages that this movie has to say, they're very powerful, and it really does say a lot about the way that our country viewed economists and Wall Street brokers post-2008. It has a lot to say about that. It has a lot to say about women and how they're treated with crimes. It has a lot to say about a lot, in all honesty, and I'm really, really impressed with this movie. I think the reason that it works so well is that the director really gave his all into this movie. He did have some scenes go over long. The writer can also be blamed for that, but the director had a lot of passion. He made a lot of scenes work really, really well. There's a particular choice where during the interview, because there's an interview that takes place that's kind of like the narration for the rest of the movie, there's a scene where a character grabs the recorder and turns it off, and the whole auditorium goes silent. And it's a really, really smart, effective choice that just pulls you in. The director made a lot of smart choices with this movie. The writer and whoever was responsible for the repetitive scenes did not. However, this is still a very strong movie. It's not super memorable. The characters are memorable, but the movie itself isn't. But the performances and the director love this movie, and you can tell. I will give Hustlers a 6.75 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Hustlers. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what is your favorite movie revolving around a hustle? Comment in the comment section below, and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.